We're back with another game. So over whatever amount of time it's been between these recordings, where are we at as far as rank goes?
Oh well, I went on a losing streak here, you see. So we're down to bronze 3.
Bronze 3. Gotcha. No shame
Yeah.
in losing streaks. I went on like a 12-game losing streak a couple weeks ago. Honestly, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, and that's all right.
But yeah, I think we dropped about 30 LP, so not crazy, but
Gotcha. All right, so we're back with what appears to be a very good Draven game, so we're going to see what happens, and this is a victory, too. Oh, looks like there's an invade. Janna died. That's pretty typical. There's a lot of invades in
yeah.
low elo. Invades have kind of stopped in my elo. Like, they don't happen as often level 1 unless somebody has a hook or something. But honestly, you can't do anything to save the Janna there. You could, like I said in the last video, move up to one of these bushes that are farther up so you can get vision of the river early in case they do invade. That way you can plant a ward right in the bush, because this ward up here, all it's doing is giving you vision of red buff in case they like take it, which this guy shouldn't be here anyways. Obviously it's too risky to like try to ward the bush if you know they're coming. Don't even risk dying for it.
Yeah, can you pause it for a second?
Sure.
So what I was thinking is, I knew they were all still there because I saw them all go into that bush right there under red buff.
Yeah.
So I dropped that ward, and I was telling them to not start red. That's why I walked straight bot lane, because Jack should have went up to blue buff.
Yeah. Another thing, knowing that they're going to take the red.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is definitely more so for junglers, but in a situation like this where they invade and they take your buff, go straight up to their red buff and take that. Just start that by yourself, because it's going to take them a ton of time to path back into their jungle, and that way it's a trade. Obviously, that's more towards a jungling tip, but if you know they're taking your red, just go straight into the enemy jungle and take theirs, because then you're not going to be at a deficit. If you're leashing red buff, stay in this bush until like 120, and then place a ward in it if you think they're going to camp this bush, because that's your only way to lane from this side of the map. Unless you want to walk all the way around the Krugs, which is going to take you a little bit longer, and you might miss minions. But that way, at least you know if they're going to be camping this bush when you go to lane. A little early game scrim going on. Yeah, you have excellent damage early game as Draven, and he got exhausted. This is such a fest.
Yeah, it really was, but my whole team was there, so I had to go with them or we were going to lose more, you know?
Got 2 axes running too. You got flash heal. It's unfortunate you don't have level 2, which obviously you can't get. He shouldn't be fighting you, but he is.
Yeah, that's why I kept chasing him, because him and Braum weren't going to kill me if they were both under half health, you know?
And you just get the auto. That was beautiful. You played that just fine.
Yeah, I missed that flash a little bit, but
yeah, that was worth. That was pretty solid. I would say even in that situation, and I say this for anybody that I ever like give advice to in level 1 invades and stuff. If you die, it's fine. A level 1 invade and one person dies is nothing. That means nothing to the game. It means whoever got the kill gets to come to lane with like an extra potion or something. You know, first blood gold is reduced before a certain time in the match. So don't burn like your summoners and stuff for kills or for escaping. Most of the time when people invade, they're going to get greedy and they're going to use their summoners to kill you, and that's just one kill. So if you come back to lane with both your summoners and they have none, you're immediately, the playing field is a little more even, or you might even have the advantage. As we're now, you now have a bounty because you have how many kills? Yeah, you have 3 kills. You have a 300 gold bounty at level 1, and you have no summoners to save yourself.
Yep.
Granted, Draven's very snowbally, so it works out kind of in your favor. You just have to play really carefully now.
So, can you pause for a second?
Yeah.
I think, I don't remember if this was the recording that got ruined or not, but I think you told me after clearing that first wave right there, I could recall because they're not going to have time to push that second wave back to us before I could get back.
So right about here, the wave's coming up to you. You're a little bit forward, which even if you are stronger than them, you still are. It's only level 3 and you're still a marksman and they can blow you up pretty quick. Right here, when Braum, I know he's got his shield up and he's kind of just playing defensive. He's level 2. I'm assuming he has his Q. You should immediately start walking upwards towards your minions to get behind them for the Q, because if they get that stun off you on you, then it's going to be a major problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, right here, just positioning down here where you're open to the skill shot from Braum. Combined with that slow and Jin too, his W will root you. If he gets that slow on you, it's almost guaranteed to land that root right afterwards. So just even though you're ahead, playing right behind your minions is going to be a lot safer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, luckily he missed it there, but I don't think they'd be able to kill you yet anyways. Right here. This is good.
So yeah,
Nice.
because he missed his Q, do you think that was a good time to go in on them?
Yeah, and another thing to look at right there. That's unfortunate. So Braum misses Q, and immediately what you can tell is Jin has his 4th shot up. And as soon as he sends off that 4th shot, it's super early game. He's not very strong at all. He has to take all that time to reload.
Yeah.
And I think going for the Braum here is fine. I would usually pick off the ADC first, because in the case that one of them does live, you want the support to live, so the ADC is not getting farm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
or the kill on me.
Yeah, exactly. But this works out pretty well. Switching focus to Jin, he gets greedy and goes back in to try to quote-unquote protect him with no abilities up, which was just a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
And then right here,
might have been a little greedy. I thought it was outside of tower
just
range.
that little walk forward, because you just have to expect him to root you. And you just take like 1 second, and if he does root, it has a wind up. It has like a full 1 second wind up. As soon as you dodge that, you can immediately just run up with your W, auto him, and walk back out.
Okay.
So it's just a little bit of greed and just knowing when that ability is coming. Just kind of expect it, because he would much rather prefer to root you under the turret rather than outside of it.
Yeah.
And that would have prevented this death. So now you've given Jin a pretty solid bounty. Yep, I would say, yeah, just playing forward a little bit right here is dangerous because they have a big wave. It is still only level 3. It's okay to just play back and let them come to you rather than try to fight them in the middle of the wave, because minions do a lot more damage than you think. I would say right here you can just slow down with your CSing and just kind of let those axes run for as long as you can, and then try to freeze it right in front of your turret, because it's in a perfect spot where they're going to have to play right in this area. In the case that your jungler was going to gank, it would give them ample time to go all the way through Tribush and get behind them. And obviously playing forward for them is bad because they're at such a disadvantage. So here you know your support's leaving. Jin hasn't actually left lane, he's coming right back. Yeah, and see, now that you've pushed it up and you have no support, it's going to push towards them and you're going to be forced to play forward.
Yeah, I tried to stay more behind the minions that time.
Right there, I would have gone right back in on Jin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because right there, obviously, no, it's not perfect. You have the wave advantage right here. You have a siege and you have an entire wave coming up on you. His shield comes down. Jin's on his 4th shot. He misses his root. You could just go. You could kill him. Your auto attacks are doing, a 5th of his health. It takes 5 auto attacks and attacks with axes to kill him. Yeah. You could have gone super aggro and Braum would not be able to stop you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess because Jin really doesn't have the attack speed to proc Braum's passive very quickly.
Exactly. Braum has to do a lot of that work, and especially during that reload time, there's no way they're getting that stun off, and he doesn't have a route to, lengthen that time anyways. A little risque, especially knowing Braum has his abilities up. Minion advantage isn't too much to worry about.
You gotta be a little risky with Draven, right?
A little bit. Yeah, so you just took a lot of unnecessary damage, really. It's just a trade you shouldn't have taken. Considering they have everything up. Had you been able to dodge most of the skill shots and just time your attacks around Braum's shield a little better, you probably could have 1v2'd them. But now you're at a point where he's got 4th shot up, you're very, very low health, and you can't move forward.
Yeah, and Jen is up by mid lane.
Yeah, so. Jen is doing her roams. And without level 6, you're not going to be able to kill them both. So any fights there would have just been a trade. It would not even have been a trade of kills. You probably would have just died.
So I got a question for you. I've heard trading on Draven is almost always worth it. Would you say that's true?
Not always. Not if you don't have any of adoration stacks.
Okay.
Because that's like a ton of your income. You know, every time you catch an axe, you get a stack. Every time you, every like successful 3 axe catches, I think it is. Yeah. So every 6 catches in a row, without missing one, every unit killed and every axe catch gives you stacks, and then you can turn those stacks in by killing people, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So killing people at 0 stacks doesn't really do you much, especially if you have like a bounty or something. You kind of lose that trade. But a lot of the time, trading as Draven is good.
Okay.
You just have to keep in mind of like bounties and stuff.
And you have to get the kill first, because otherwise you lose half your stacks.
Yeah, exactly. If you throw your ult and it kills them on its way back when you're already dead, you've lost half your stacks, which is still better than nothing. This would be your ideal time to get your stacks in, keep those axes running. Because even if they go off cooldown and you don't have them up, you get a little bit of those stacks in between that time that you're fighting. So even if you know you're going to lose your axe after this wave, just put one up.
Okay.
And since right here, you can look that you have a ton of caster minions, and the casters usually get focused last. So those are going to hard push out that wave, and you have a much bigger minion wave. So I would just I would just pull your axes up and just push this wave out hard.
Okay.
And make it crash into their
trying to
turret.
freeze, and I think I was killing them too fast.
Yeah, because then at that point right here, you have a minion advantage, and even though you're playing closer to their turret, you can absolutely beat them in a fight.
Okay.
And you have your level 6 too. And you got roamed on by the bot lane experience of 4 people bot at, 9 minutes in.
9 minutes.
So that was good playing back on your part. Good ward. That's a smart ward, especially if you can't get up there to ward try, because if you do go up there, you're going to get caught. And that kind of negates the chances of, not negates the chances of you guys getting dove, but at least you're expecting it.
I don't know. Brom's always scary to play into because of his passive.
Yeah, especially combined with Jin Root, it's rough. I would say you could just focus more on kiting there backwards, throwing out those auto attacks even though you're technically losing the fight. And now that you've waited out Brom's shield, you can get back into it. Yeah, right there you have to play aggro because of this situation. That's something you absolutely have to do because you know that Jin's level 6 now and he absolutely has his ult. Janna's burned her exhaust on the 4th shot, which is a fairly smart play. So it looks like you guys are actually having an all-in.
Yeah, and
Brom no longer has ult. I would just wait that shield out, and then immediately you can go right back in on Jin. Even if it looks like you're going to die here, go back in. Because if you just die for nothing and you don't get a trade, it's worthless. So right there, had you just stuck to it, he has no auto attacks right now. All it takes is 2 axe throws, and he's dead. But now he gets to move back, you run away, he gets to reposition, and he can throw his ult up, and now you either have to dodge it or die. Unfortunately, Janna dies, but you make it out. I think you don't have a bounty right now. The flash wasn't a horrible choice, but, not a great choice. You could save it for the next fight, and then you're at an advantage that way.
Yeah, and if Janna was going to block it anyways, because I was behind her, I probably could have just walked out.
Exactly. And it is better for her to die than you.
And I think I just finished an item on that back, so I should be 1 item ahead of him, pretty much.
Nice.
Because he started boots.
Yeah. I think, I know I've said it, but Yumu's is a great first item. Collector is definitely a greedy item, but one key thing to remember is it's good to build defensive while you're ahead. It denies them getting more kills on you, and Yumu's isn't necessarily a defensive item, but that movement speed and the active movement speed you get from it can get you out of situations. So it is defensive when used right, where Collector, you're kind of forced to get kills with it, and if you don't get those kills, it doesn't pay off. Especially against somebody like Warwick, if you see him running up behind you and try, you pop Yumu's and you go straight back to turret, you have a better chance of living.
Well, here was my thinking, right? So I'm a bronze player right now, yeah?
Yeah.
We don't use the active items.
Yeah.
So I thought Collector would be better.
Yeah, I think that's just a learning curve you have to overcome and decide that you have to use better items if you do want to have better success. Not saying that Collector's the wrong choice, but if you wanted a higher success rate, then I think Yumu's would have a better payoff. Because you're 4-1, you should be playing safer and trying to get not killed as much. And especially
Yeah.
against a Warwick, a Silas, and getting run down by slows and roots from Jin and Braum, the Yumu's movement speed is going to help you not only dodge those skill shots, but even getting out of Jin ult or Jin range or ult range of Warwick, it's just going to be a lot safer. And it still gives you really, really good benefits. That and the passive movement speed you get from it, especially as a first item where waves really, really matter, you get back to lane way faster.
Yeah, and their whole team is ahead right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much, except for their bot lane.
And now, yeah, exactly. And now looking at it, there's no dragon on the map. Grubs are up. Warwick's most likely going to be playing towards top side. That's a good thing to know. And I see that you have a boot and a dagger. I'm assuming you're going to build berserkers here. Which is, I know I said it last time, but I called them Ninja Tabby. Steel caps are going to be the better choice here. You have Warwick, who does damage through his auto attacks, and you have Jin, who has heavy damage on his auto attacks. Where you're not building an attack speed build, you don't necessarily need attack speed, and you get built in attack speed from your W. So the steel caps are a defensive option. They're going to be much better. One thing to consider, and I see that you're pushing up. I know I said that Warwick's probably playing towards top side, so this isn't the worst choice, but you have to consider that this won't punish him. Because if Jin is doing the right thing and going Yumu's first, he's going to get back to lane really fast.
Okay.
Because he has all that bonus movement speed, and he already has Swifties in his inventory. And you can see that he's actually, I know you wouldn't be able to tell this, but he's used the Yumu's to get back to lane faster. So this wave is probably going to hit right in front of his turret, and he might be able to freeze it there and put you at a disadvantage.
Okay.
Let's see if that's how that plays out. He should be back like in 3 seconds. Maybe 5 seconds. There he is.
Yeah,
so it didn't.
He got there. I think there was 4 minions left or so. When he got there.
So it didn't quite freeze in front of his turret. It is pushed up just a little bit, but it looks like he's immediately hard pushing it out for some reason. I don't know if that's because they want to play more aggressive. I would say I just saw Warwick, his little icon flash up mid. I know map awareness is a skill that takes a lot of practice, but seeing him there should immediately click in your brain and say, hey, we can play more aggressive.
Yeah.
Try to bait them into making mistakes and then play more aggressive and shut down Jin, because he also has a 250 gold bounty right now. And even though he has Yumu's, you also have your first item, you are definitely stronger than him. The only time that you are at a disadvantage is if you lose a trade with him and you start to back up, because that's when he can ult you.
Okay.
So you really have to play super aggressively into him.
Yeah, Jin is your main, isn't he? So
technically, I have since dropped out of ADC because the lane is just disgusting right now, and I don't want to touch it.
Okay.
This season has been. I know people make a lot of fuss about ADCs complaining about their role being not good again, because it happens every other season. And I'm sick of it. So everything that's being played in the bot lane right now just completely builds lethality, and anything other than that is pretty much just not good. So I am tired of the role. It's unpredictable. The champions that are played down there are not even marksmen half the time, and there's just no feasible way to like effectively carry games all the time. This is a great fight. Beautiful. I like that you positioned around the side of Braum's shield there in order to hit Jin. And that Janna flash ult was beautiful. That was a really good fight. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about being punished by Warwick. You guys are basically full health. Warwick is pretty strong right now, so he's still kind of scary. But he shouldn't be able to 1v2. Strong or not. Yeah, and he's forced to flash. And then you can just kill him. I would say a questionable heal. Because it didn't really do anything for you.
Yeah, I probably panicked.
Yeah, it happens. Heal's not like super strong in the meta right now just because of the way things are, but that's totally fine to be taking heal. But obviously use it as like a safety measure.
Yeah.
Looks like the wave is in a decent spot and it's not a siege wave. It's good that you didn't stay there because Jin just showed up back to lane. And if he has ult up, he might be able to pick one of you guys off. What do we get? We got Infinity Edge. Yeah, Infinity Edge is a problematic item. It's just mediocre, and especially if you're gonna be focusing on I mean, in a perfect world, if you're focusing on the best items, like lethality items, you're not. The only crit you're getting right now is from your collector. I would have finished your boots, so you get the bonus movement speed from them.
Okay.
Usually before you finish your second item, you want upgraded boots, because that bonus movement speed helps you get around a lot faster.
Yeah.
I would usually pretty much never go Infinity Edge because it's just not a great item. I don't think it's horrible, but their team is kind of squishy, or not squishy. Their team is kind of a little more on the bruiser side with Warwick and Silas to deal with. So the lethality and the armor pen helps a lot more. It's like you lost your turret. Warwick is just playing super far up in the jungle and just being greedy. The wave is pushed all the way up to their turret. Right now, you guys should be roaming mid. Lux has lost her turret and she's significantly weak, so you guys would be able to help handle that Silas better. And in the case that you win a fight, not only do you get control of the Herald, but you get control of the mid lane, and you get to at least apply some pressure to that turret. Where right now, if you push all the way up here, you're completely prone to ganks with no vision here.
I was trying to head up mid, but Warwick and Braum were up there.
Don't be afraid to just stop and take the long way around. Just walk all the way through the base, or just take a recall and head back.
Okay.
Because the more time you waste, like, watching him in the jungle and trying to find a way to sneak around him, that's just more and more time that you're wasting that could have been used to getting into another lane.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like Jax is here. He should be... Ooh, got the Warwick gank behind you. Jax is tunnel visioning on the ADC. He comes back for it. Yeah, you guys blew that Warwick up pretty hard. 2 flashes. This means this, right here, I would just hard push this out and then immediately go to Dragon. Sometimes don't even worry about last hitting. You have a Nasus there who's going to want stacks anyways. Just focus on getting the turret pushed in, and then you guys go super aggro and go towards Dragon. They don't.
That was a bad spot right there.
Yeah, that's one of those spots where Yumu's would have been great, because you were caught in a bad position. If you just popped it and just started running the other way, you'd probably be fine. But that's also partially on your team. You guys should have been focusing more towards Dragon while Warwick was dead. The only people that you guys have to worry about are Silas and Jhin, and you should have been able to handle them in theory.
Yeah, we're down, what, 16 kills right now? And 3 dragons.
Yeah, and there goes the Herald as well. And you guys have already lost almost all of your lane turrets, which is really, really rough. I wouldn't even rotate it up there with them. Jax and Nasus can handle an Ashe top all on their own, but definitely focus on the mid there, because mid is getting pushed in. And if Warwick shows up with Herald, they're probably going to get your inhib turret.
I forgot about this. So Silas just disconnected on their team.
Oh. That makes the game a lot easier. Right into the Braum shield.
Yeah, I know.
That's unfortunate. It happens. It's going to happen all the time. And a good Braum will always keep their shield up for stuff like that. It wasn't the worst idea to throw your ult there, but you can always save it. Especially if you know you're at a point where you can guaranteed land it. This Warwick's picked a lost fight. Lucky for you guys, and you should be able to just hopefully take this turret.
So yeah, I believe it stays a 4v5 for the rest of the game. But, I mean, a win is a win. I'll take that.
Yeah, we take all of those. We take any win we can get. What you guys should be doing, I don't know what Nasus and Lux are doing, but you should be, since you just pushed that in, that gives you an opportunity to go down and ward around Dragon. But Lux and Nasus are kind of just doing their own thing, and Janna should be following you and actually placing the wards.
Yeah.
And we already see Draven down there. We know Ashe's bot. Her ult is really strong for team fights. There's no way you guys are going to get this Dragon.
Yeah, and we just saw Warwick and Braum and Jhin right there.
Huge disadvantage, no vision, and just not enough teammates there. Now I have to ask what I just saw. Do you have your attack move bound to a key?
Yeah, to my mouse.
Okay. Do you use that when you're kiting?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so right there what I notice is you're like stutter stepping back and forth into Warwick.
Yeah,
in situations like that,
I've been trying to learn how to use it.
Yeah,
so.
it is weird. So in situations like that where there's nothing else you can auto attack, your attack move won't prioritize jungle camps. Like 90% of the time, it'll prioritize the champion. So in situations like that, all you're doing is right clicking behind you back here, and then just attack move and clicking behind you again. Because it's only going to send you that direction, and it'll just make you auto attack whatever's closest to you in your radius. Obviously, not prioritizing jungle camps. And that way
Yeah,
you
I just
avoid getting auto-attacked by melee people.
yeah, I just switched to using that, so
Yeah, it is a really weird
a
thing to pick
learning
up.
experience.
I use it all the time on every champion, even just for
Mhm.
farming and stuff. It makes it way easier.
Yeah.
And just
And
fighting in areas like this is always super dangerous, especially if you guys get at a health disadvantage and Jin is alive. He can choke point you guys in any of these, and you only have this much room to dodge his ult.
yeah. Target champion only. I've been trying to use that too.
Yep. Right here, 3 of them are dead. I would just start Dragon by yourself.
Okay.
They have 2 turrets gone mid lane. They're rushing down the support. You just start Dragon and wait for your jungler to come back and help you.
Okay.
Because all he's good for at that point is smiting it, even though jungler's dead, so it doesn't really matter too much. There's nobody that's going to be able to contest it. And
Yeah,
now
I
that
think
you've pushed up this far, Jin and Warwick are already back alive.
Yeah,
And you have a
just
small
focused on
minion
taking the
wave.
tower.
Yeah, and then you can only do so much damage at that point. By then, you probably could have killed Dragon and rotated bot and got that first turret, because their immediate instinct is going to run mid and stop those minions.
Okay.
Interesting series of plays there. The Janna did the right thing and got in front of you and warded them off, which is good. You have a really good bounty right now, and you don't want to lose that. But also, you guys just lost. I believe Janna just used her flash. No, she didn't. Did she? No.
No.
Janna used her ult, and you used your flash. You guys are immediately at a disadvantage in that team fight, especially because of Janna ult. Jin just walked straight into death for some reason. Yep, and they just wasted so much stuff. They have no Ashe ult. Jin's super low health.
Yeah, Miss
Warwick is strong. I would definitely right there have to play super far back.
Yeah.
It's really hard, especially when your team is just fighting and fighting, and you really want to be a part of it and do that damage. But Warwick does not take a lot of damage from you.
Yeah, and the only tank we have is
right here. Yeah, right here, I would immediately start backing up, auto attack Warwick, and just focus around that, because you cannot get to that back line without him hitting you, and you're going to be priority number 1 for him. Braum gets out, you go for the squishies, and you get feared immediately by Warwick.
Where did my ult go?
Didn't get taken up by Braum's shield, did it? Because his shield just went down. Let's see.
Because it looks like it just vanished to me.
It might have just come back.
His
really
shield's
fast.
down now.
Yeah, so it just came back really fast because it automatically returns after hitting a champion. Yeah. And since Warwick was right in front of you, it just came back super fast. It still hits all of them.
I saw it that time,
Yeah. Still hits all of them, which is good. But just like I said, one of those situations where if you guys start getting at a disadvantage and Jin is alive, doesn't matter what health he's at, he can ult you from anywhere.
Yeah.
But here, Warwick gets caught out. That was perfect because immediately, as soon as they saw their entire team rotate bot to deal with Nasus, that gives you guys the opportunity to run up to Baron and get some vision, and Warwick went up there all by himself and got picked off. And honestly, right now, they just used Jin ult in that last fight. They used a lot of stuff, probably everything. You guys could just get that pick on Ashe and then just do Baron.
Okay.
Anybody that contests you at that point isn't Warwick, and they're not strong enough to deal with you guys. Does Nasus have smite?
He does.
Did he explain
I don't know
why? He didn't explain why. Okay. I was going to say, I'm like, the Nasus could also teleport into the team fight for Baron.
Yeah,
he cannot.
I forgot about that.
Very interesting. What is he doing with All right, that's confusing, but yeah. This shouldn't be happening. She's not worth it. The only thing she's good for is her ult right now, and it looks like she already used it. So somebody has that information. You guys could have done Baron by now.
Yeah.
And if she tried to contest again, you just kill her. Nice ult. Waited for the Braum shield to come down.
Yeah, I waited that time.
Nice. Braum gets picked. You guys can do Baron. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, you just got to get out of there because Warwick has bonus movement speed. Great kiting. Missing the axes, but regardless, getting the damage out and moving at the same time, that was pretty good. Even at this point, if Jax tanks, you guys could do Baron. And it looks like he wants to. Let's see. Yeah, you get so much health back from lifesteal and stuff. Yeah, and you have a Vamp Scepter, and that's enough. So everybody has everything up. Everything is available. It's all on the board. Nice. Yep, back up, refocus, find somebody else. Warwick's almost dead. Easy pickup. Beautiful. I love that you did not go full bronze mode and run down that Ashe. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna catch her. There's
The slows and her ults and everything. Yeah, just get her. You got something important from her. You got some damage. Just refocus. That was beautiful. Yep, and now you guys can run down because Nasus is taking the whole top lane. You got the dragon. 3 of them are dead. This is hard because your guys' waves are pushed all the way up towards your base. All you can do is proxy right now. I want to see how you guys handle this. Nasus is doing his thing. Pushing is near impossible. You guys have Baron, but you have no minions. Right there, what you could do that's a little crazy, you know Sylas is AFK. If you look at death timers, you could plant right over that wall and go push Nexus turrets.
Okay.
It is a little bit of a ballsy move, and Jhin, you can see Jhin right there, and his focus is on those minions. I mean, look at what he's dealing with right now. He either has to shift his auto attacks and his focus towards you or the minions. Either way, it's a loss for him. He can't clear these minions like at all because his abilities just do not let him do it, and he can't kill you with a bunch of Baron minions hitting him. You still have 10 seconds on that. I would just go up there and try to bully him or get some attacks on the turret, but honestly, what you did, that's fine. You played it safe. That is totally okay. Warwick's getting the flank, gets the ult off. Perfect time for you to just reposition. Nice. That Janna's putting in so much work for you guys, too.
Mm-hmm.
You still got ult on hand. Very nice. Cleaning house. And at that point, what you guys should be doing, if my hunch is correct,
just push this
so
down.
we get the fight here off. And you guys have Baron. You guys should totally just... Where's Nasus? Is he with you guys? He should go clear these minions, and you guys should just rush in and just take these turrets.
Okay.
Because had those minions been cleared, you guys would have been able to take the Nexus turret, but you guys have minions back here. So you can't push this lane either. These will clear out really fast because it's super minions.
Yeah, I think I went to go clear the mid lane minions, and I should have just went up with them.
Yeah, just go up there and
away.
wait because that top was going to get there faster. Nasus should not be worrying about stacks right now. Yeah. This isn't going to do anything. You're all full health. They can't stop you. Warwick's coming up in 2 seconds. You guys can end the game and you won't be able to do anything about it. Yeah. Perfect finish. Nice. I feel like if the Sylas had stuck around, that would have been a lot harder, especially for you. That Warwick was already right on top of you, and that Sylas would have been doubling down on that all the way.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
But otherwise, I notice a very, very good fluency on the axe catching. Farming is still so-so. The kiting, it looks like you got a little bit of kiting in there in a couple moments, which is really solid. I think just some of it comes down to holding on to like summoner spells and your ults, just having patience and repositioning, most importantly, just putting yourself in a good spot.
And auto attack move.
Yeah, learn that attack move. It takes a lot of practice, but it pays off really, really well.
Yep.
Cool. Do you have any questions or any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we kind of covered all of it.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I definitely see improvement. Awesome. That was a good game.